Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Who let me drive this thing all day? I don't know. I guess they trusted me with the keys and they never came back for them. So I'm driving still. Chad Bryan to my right, which, ladies and gentlemen, would mean he's over. One more time. Let's try it one more time here. Oh my goodness, do we have the juice? We have the juice. No, we don't have the juice. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost there. Don't worry. One of these days, I'm going to bring us back. There we go. Chad Bryan to my right, your right. I'm Eli Moon. And, yeah, we're steering this thing. Got a little bumpy over the last 10 seconds there, Chad. But we are rocking and rolling. Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Again, Chad Bryan to my right, your right. I'm Eli Moon. We are in the saddle, on the saddle, in the saddle, on the saddle here on the Inside Edge Network. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been tuned in all day, we are going to continue the trend here in just a second. Before we do so, if you've tuned in for the first time today, thank you. Like, follow, subscribe at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. That's, Twitter, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. You hit that notification bell, smash it, so you know when we're going live. We are bringing you something different, grassroots, media, Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. We appreciate you so much. Chad and I really appreciate the patience as we're kind of working through some new system, just like swinging the baseball, baseball bat, that is. You don't swing a baseball, you swing a baseball bat. And that tells you how long I've been awake today. So, but we're rocking and rolling. Go and check the InsideEdgeNetwork.com out as well, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Read about your favorite personalities, Chad and I. And, of course, go out and check our partners out as well, W Energy, Mosser Moments. You have SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Could not do it without you. And could not do it without you. Double point. At home. We appreciate you so much. Go read about your favorite personalities as well. Like I said, Chad and I, check the partners page. And, of course, go over to that shop. Go to the shop, grab some of Cleveland's digital leaders' merch, rep it, whether it's a mug, a hat, a polo, a shirt, a windbreaker, whatever it is. Go ahead and grab that. Promo code is expired. We'll try to get another one here for you maybe in the future. Maybe soon. I'll see what I can do to pull some strings. But right now, just go rep the network. Go grab some gear. My hair is still intact, ladies and gentlemen. We fell a little short of the 10 purchase, but that's okay. We're going to keep repping, and maybe I'll still get a haircut. We'll see. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to my main man, my guy on my right, my bro, Chad Bryan. How are you feeling here today?
Who me? Wow.
Yeah, you, bud.
I'm honored. Okay, wow. Listen, it's fun to be. We're saddle adjacent, I guess, is what we.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go saddle adjacent. Yeah, I'm in here for the third time today. You are in here for the 17th time today. So that's fun. We got some. We liked it so much we came back a couple of times, or several times in one of our cases. But I'm doing pretty good. I mean, obviously we got some news earlier that it wasn't great news if you like to watch Myles Garrett play football. But he's still gonna be playing football. But he's just not gonna be playing for our Cleveland Browns. So We'll get to all that. We've got, I'm looking at time. We've got nothing but time ahead of us. We've got time to talk about this stuff. So we'll get to it. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. Doesn't really feel like a Monday. It feels like it's a really weird day. It started off weird. It got weirder in the middle, and now it's.
Our pre-show is even crazy. I mean, I feel like it just was a wild pre-show. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
This is what happens when we do like a 6-7 months of working on the same show, and we switch to a whole new software. But no, again, appreciate all the. First off, everybody out there, understanding that we are working through some things here, and we'll continue to bring you everything different, that we've continued to do since September of last year. So let's dive right into it.
We're not working through it. We're working through some software things. Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, I think we're always working through something.
We're always working. Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right, let's dive into it, buddy, because you know who is working on something, and they already worked on it. They sent it over. That was a trade. They sent it to, everybody they needed to. Adam Schefter reported in multiple reports. Myles Garrett, Cleveland Browns star defensive end, sack single season record holder, many Pro Bowls and defensive player of the year. You can just name so much about Myles. He is no longer a Cleveland Brown. He is traded to the Los Angeles Rams earlier today. Cleveland acquired linebacker Jared Verse, who is a former defensive rookie of the year in 2024 and a Dayton, Ohio native. Yeah. 2027 first rounder as well, 28 second rounder, and a 29 third rounder. And if you've been following the network here all day, you've obviously seen a lot of reaction from the network, from Kyle Cornell on Unfiltered, a very special edition that aired earlier in the day and then re-aired at 5 to make sure we give you that 5 o'clock Kyle hour that everybody needs with Unfiltered. And then, of course, we had Double A, Chad and myself breaking down some Myles talk. And then later on, we had Chad and TK. So what better way to do it than bring Chad and I back and kind of just get some more further thoughts on this whole trade. And we've had, Chad, roughly about 9 hours to sit on it. It happened about a little bit after 1, closer to 2. We've had about 9 hours to sit on it. You've had a lot of thoughts here on the network about this Myles Garrett trade, but you asked TK a lot of questions. I want to ask you some questions here. If you are the Cleveland Browns right now, you're Todd Monken. Mm-hmm. You're the head coach of this football team. You've been brought in to either transition into the Dome or be the coach that leads them into the Dome. The Dome, for those outside of Cleveland, that being the new stadium they're looking to build in Brook Park. So if you're Todd Monken, do you feel better about your chances of being the coach? I asked you this about a month ago, Chad. I'm going to bring it back. Do you feel better about your chances if you're Todd Monken of coming back as the Cleveland Browns head coach when they open the Dome? Not like coming back like they fire you, then you bring it back like for a rehire. We've done that thing before. But be that guy, or do you think that now his days are numbered? Now that he's moved on from Myles Garrett, they've moved on. The Browns, not necessarily Todd Monken, but the Browns organization.
Yeah, it sounds like he never got to know Myles Garrett to have an opportunity to move on from him. But I think, I don't know. I've been kicking this around both ways, and I think that right now, if I'm Todd Monken, I feel personally like maybe my time is extended by at least one season, 17 games, right? Because I feel like, okay, when you come in and you're a head coach and you have the best, the best defensive player in football, really. I was going to say the best rush end, the best defensive end, but he's the best he's the best paleontologist in the NFL. I know that.
Yeah, he is.
He's got that going for him.
Yeah.
So, no, I think when you come in and you have the best defensive player, the most dominant, the most impactful defensive player in the league, I think there are certain expectations that maybe go away as he goes away. And even though they're getting Jared Verse, I know he's a good player. He's not Myles Garrett, and that's not a knock on him. I mean, nobody's Myles Garrett, right? Like it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, let's make a list of the people who came close to having 25 and a half sacks last season, right? And that's where it starts and ends. But I mean, I think it kind of extends that time for him a little bit. I think at least mentally, that's how I would feel. That's, I don't know, 17 weeks? That's like, I don't know what his haircut rate is, but that's probably at least 10 more haircuts in Cleveland.
10 haircuts?
Yeah, I bet he's getting a cut every other week. I bet every 2 weeks. I bet. Don't you think?
I mean, I can't.
Whole NFL team coaches picture for a haircut. That's a guy getting his haircut at least, I should say at the most every 14 days.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really attest to it. I haven't had a haircut in 2 years, so I can't really judge what a proper time length is for getting a haircut anymore.
Fair. So yeah, you're gonna have one end and you're gonna have the other end. There are right? Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have split ends. You're gonna have
no. Hey, easy, pal.
Defensive ends, all kinds of stuff.
Yes. Okay, I'll take that. You know what? we need defensive ends. We definitely need. We got a hole for that now. We definitely got a hole for that. I mean, you think of Jared Verse, he's a linebacker. And just to piggyback off of kind of what you were saying here, he's got defensive end qualities. In terms of he can rush. And he's also a linebacker that can drop back in coverage. He plays well in the run defense. So I get that, but
think of him as more of a sideline to sideline guy. And I've been saying that that's what this defense needs, right? Like he's a guy that's quick enough. He can get sideline to sideline. And now you've got him back there with Carson Schlesinger or whatever. You can use him he's pretty versatile, and I like that. I don't mind the player return at all. Listen, Myles Garrett didn't want to be here, right? And if he doesn't want to be here, you really don't have much of a choice. I mean, they had to move on. You heard Ian Rappaport. We played it earlier when you, I, and Double A were on. Ian Rappaport said that the Rams were basically the only team that was courting Myles Garrett. So as unbelievable as that sounds, it is what it is, right? So the Browns didn't have, a whole lot of choices. It's not like they're shopping him out there and, it's the highest bidder. I think they kind of had to do what they had to do. I think maybe, and at least I'll give him this credit, Eli. If Myles Garrett was that upset about Jim Schwartz and the whole situation where the Browns sort of, like I said, passed him over for the head coaching spot, at least he kept it in-house. Yes, there was the social media post. Okay, that's fine. But he wasn't going out demanding trades and talking to the media and bad-mouthing the organization. He kept all that stuff in-house, so I will give him that. But if he doesn't want to be here at the end of the day, he doesn't want to be here, and that's his prerogative. I mean, he's allowed to feel however he's allowed to feel, and we don't get much of a say in that, unfortunately. So
my question to follow up to that is, how much is this on the Browns end? Because everything I'm reading report-wise is Myles Garrett was made untouchable to the point where the Rams, and I've seen memes already about, we offered them, the Rams offered us the girl, the house, the car, everything they could have to get this done because Myles Garrett was a player deemed untouchable by the Cleveland Browns for a long time. I was watching the clip and I didn't get a chance to load it in again. New software, so going to be a little bit of a process there. But seeing Andrew Berry this time last year, right about, and saying Myles Garrett has a direct trip, or direct, flight, whatever, direct ride to Cleveland, from Cleveland to Canton.
Yeah.
And I saw a buddy of mine, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I saw him post on Twitter, and I had to give him a shout out because he said layover in L.A. Because it's like,
about a 7-year layover, yeah.
How can you say those things? And now you're a year later, it makes me think two things, right? And I got two questions for you. I'll start with the first one, and then we'll dive into the other one. First question I got for you is, how much is this on the Browns for maybe not opening up, to your point, other trade offers? Because, there was rumors that Dallas could be involved, Philadelphia could be involved, some other teams. And then it turned out to when these reports came out that it just seemed like he was untouchable, willing to waive his no trade clause for LA. Now, I would say this. I think he'd be willing to do it for Dallas, too, considering he's a Texan. But, not a Houston Texan, but he is literally a Texan. And, and then you have, Philadelphia maybe. But I think some of these other teams he would have waived it for as well. I don't think the Rams were the only team. So I guess my question is, how much is this on the Browns from just not making him available and not doing it last year? Because it seems like by not pulling the trigger on it, Double A talked about it earlier. By not pulling the trigger on it last year, and then this year deeming him untouchable.
Yeah.
Teams are like, oh, Chad, if you tell me something's untouchable, I'm not going to reach out and keep asking you about it. Unless I'm crazy, which I guess the Rams front office, insane. And that's why they've drafted Jared Verse and Ty Simpson. That is the last and only 2 first-round draft picks they've taken since 2016. So, and we have one of them now. So the Rams technically have 1 first-rounder on their roster from the last 10 years that they have drafted. And I guess, so to bring it back full circle here, we're going to go to break here in a few moments, but I'll ask you this before we go to break. How much of this is on the Browns for not opening up their horizon until it seems like the last maybe 24 hours?
Well, I think it's been open longer than that, to be honest with you. And I think that the reason that, today was the day, right? June 1st, we talked about it. It was the first day that they could trade him without a massive cap hit. Mm-hmm. And I think that the Browns looked at their options and they said, okay, what's more important to us? That $30 million, cleared out in cap space, or 2 first-round picks from Dallas on the night of the draft when, we don't know exactly who's going to – we're going to have to make decisions on the fly. Let's think about it in the long run. And I think they went with the $30 million in cap space, right? They cleared out $30 million, whatever. I don't know the exact numbers of what the cap hit would have been had they traded him yesterday or the night of the draft or last year this time or whatever. But I do know that they saved themselves significant money by restructuring his contract and then waiting until June 1st. So I think that tells you everything you need to know. I mean, they weighed over their options and they decided that the money, the cash, was more important. Probably, in a little bit of a way to I don't know, soften the blow of Deshaun Watson's huge, $86 million whatever dead cat. They've got problems. They've got financial problems. So it's almost like, well, we got to go sell our Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, we're a collector. We like, this is one of one collector's item, but it's time to sell it. It's maybe the value's gone down from last year, but this is the most value that it's ever going to have to us. So, and again, he didn't, the value wasn't there in W's. He didn't translate to wins. So I guess at the very end of the day, the Browns just decided that $30 million, clearing out of that cap space was more important to them than maybe an extra first-round pick from I don't know.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, Chad. I do disagree a little bit when it comes to he didn't impact wins, because I think this Cleveland Browns team, which was putrid on offense, when they even had the 3, 4, 5, whatever wins they had last year.
Well, then they just would have gotten a better pick.
Sure, but I'm saying,
you know what I'm saying? It just didn't get into the playoffs.
Sure, but I get it. But year by year, I think if anybody is impacted, it's been Myles Garrett, and that's why I'm having a tough time with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right now, the haul back. I get your point. Ultimately, a defensive end isn't going to throw you a touchdown or anything, so there's a lot of he ain't scoring your points typically unless he's bringing. I get that to 100% what you're saying.
Yeah, but I understand your side too. Yeah,
there's only a few guys that can move the needle on this Browns team. One of them's gone now, Myles Garrett, and if there's a few others left, Denzel Ward and the new acquiree, Jared Verse. That's it. Like, you don't have anybody else on that defense now, so now the pressure is on Denzel Ward, who is, last time I checked, the longest tenured Cleveland Brown right now.
Well, you still got Carson Schlesinger back there who played really well last year. And you've got the defensive line who, when they're healthy, they're pretty strong, right? Even without Myles Garrett, I think they're pretty good. You've got some guys there that I think can contribute. And I think without Myles Garrett, maybe they're not a top 5 defense, but they're probably still a top 14 or 15 defense. So it's like I said earlier, if they can get the offense to that level, I think they're okay. I think that probably improves the team more than, taking the defense from number 5 to number 2 in the NFL and leaving the offense down at like 28, 29, 30, right? Like, I think if you've got 2 middle of the pack, sides of the ball there, then, okay, you got 2 units that are like 14th, 15th, 16th. I think that's better off than having 2 and 31, Yeah,
agreed. But I'm just having a tough time not coming to grips with it. I know Myles Garrett is no longer Cleveland Brown. I'm just having a tough time trying to figure out, okay, you have a new defensive coordinator coming in here, Mike Rudenberg. Mm-hmm. If you have a lot of new defensive pieces coming into here. You have guys that they went out and grabbed. Now it makes sense why they signed Alex Wright to that extension last season. Now it makes plenty of sense because Alex Wright is now your cornerstone defensive end, along with Verse, who's going to play obviously a little bit of linebacker in the lineup on that. May get down in a 3-point stance, may not. Depends what the Browns want to do. I do agree with you on this about Verse, real quick, before I lose this train of thought. Mm-hmm. When the Browns lost JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, excuse me, that is what they've been missing. So I will give you that. In terms of Jared Verse, he is pure adrenaline. He's confidence, like I said earlier today. He is something that the Browns lack. He is, everything we lost in confidence with Myles Garrett, we gained right back in Jared Verse. We did not lose that. We did not lose personality. The guy, like I said earlier, a few playoffs ago, was talking to the Philadelphia Eagles about betting like game checks or something. I got to look at the exact specifics for tomorrow's show, but maybe I'll see if I can find it during the break. But he was betting basically, not on FanDuel or anything crazy, but like betting, hey, friendly bet, but like let's put some money on the line between players. Like, I'm gonna beat your behind tonight, Right. I just like that moxie. But I think, and that's what I'm going to bring up when we come back from break. We're going to take a quick pause here.
And he was not highly regarded as a recruit coming out of high school either, Eli. Right. So he's a guy that's always bet on himself. I mean, literally, figuratively, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And Chad, we got to take a quick pause here. When I come back, when I come back, you're leaving me? When we come back, I couldn't go anywhere without my bro. Come on. When we come back, I do want to talk about Jared Verse. We talked a little bit about it. We've more so talked about the overall trade. I want to talk about, and you probably differ from me, maybe you don't, but I'm going to talk about why this trade solely falls on the health and the play of Jared Verse more than anything else.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the haul the Cleveland Browns got and why Jared Verse is going to be magnified just like other Cleveland sports teams have done in some monstrous trades. I'll kind of bring up some other Cleveland teams as well. We'll get into that after the break. But that's my guy, Chad Bryan. To your right, my right, everybody's right. He's helped put a smile on my face this evening because you know what? There is life after Myles Garrett. We're trying to get there. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm Eli Moon. I need W Energy. You do too. Inside Edge 10 is the code for first-time customers. Get 10% off your order. Get jazzed up just like Eli Moon, and let's all party. We got another 40 minutes or so here with you. Inside Edge Primetime. That's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. We're back right after this.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Moser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Moser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MoserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MoserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right. Ladies and gentlemen, that means he's over to your right. There we go, a little smoother that time. I'm Eli Moon. We're back in the saddle, on the saddle, in the saddle here on the Inside Edge Network. We are breaking down the news of the day. Me and Chad were working on a show. We had the rundown, and then we threw the rundown out. We said, we'll do it tomorrow. Because Myles Garrett got traded. If you have just woken up and you're a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm sorry. This is what you woke up to. But, yes, he's gone. He's a Los Angeles Ram now. Jared Verse, a 27 first-rounder, a 28 second, and a 29 third are coming our way back to Cleveland, per Adam Schefter and many reports. Yeah, Chad, I mean, could you imagine? You're like, look, I had a long day. You work like third shift, right? And you come in and you take a nap. And you're like, oh, cool, I got the next day, a few days off. So I'm going to take a long sleep, maybe till like 7, 8 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. I'm going to put on my guys' prime time, see what goofy shenanigans they're talking about. And you tuned into this. I'm sorry. We didn't plan this. We're not.
This isn't funny. We're not trying to be funny or anything. It's not a joke. Yeah, it happened. It's a thing.
It sure did happen.
Brownsed.
Yes.
Browned or browned? No?
I don't know. But, hey, we do have some chiming in from the comment section. Roger over here says, hey, everyone. Roger, we'll say what's up. Now, you're a Rams fan, it looks like here, Roger.
Okay.
So we'd love for you to chime in here, my friend. We come in peace here as Browns fans.
Yeah.
We wish you nothing but the best with Myles Garrett. We're curious your thoughts over there. If you are in Los Angeles, but obviously being a Rams fan, what your thoughts are with Myles Garrett going over there. While you're typing, Roger, thanks for joining along.
Yeah.
Chad, I posed a question to you, and more of a, statement/question to you before the break. And I'm going to bring it back here to everybody just tuning in, and hello to everybody. Jared Verse, he's the only player moved in this trade from the Los Angeles Rams to Cleveland.
Yeah.
How much pressure is on Jared Verse to perform, knowing that you only acquired one first-rounder back for a Hall of Fame talent?
Well, I mean, I don't think I know that we're probably going to have differing opinions on this, I think, but I don't think there's a ton of pressure on him. He comes into a defense that's already pretty well established as a good defense in the NFL. Yes, obviously that defense was helped by having Myles Garrett. Sure. But he doesn't have to fill Myles Garrett's shoes in the sense of like, okay, let's say this is going to be funny when I say these words. Let's say we had a franchise quarterback, like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, okay? And we thought, like, all right, it's kind of he's in his prime, but he's unhappy here. He's whatever. So you move the quarterback, right? And now you bring in another quarterback, and you've got to play the same position. And it might be a little bit different offense, but you've got to fill the shoes of the guy that was there before. It's not really that way. It's not that way for Jared Verse. He's coming in he plays a different position. Yes, he's going to be used to rush the quarterback, sure, at times. But like you said, he's a little more versatile than that. And I think maybe that's the part that excites me a little bit is Myles Garrett had one gear, right? It was whenever you shifted to go get the quarterback, and that was it. And sometimes you would see him take running plays completely off, right? Like he would just allow himself to be moved out of a running player. Typically they would run away from it. There was no backside pursuit really. And I'm not disparaging Myles Garrett. He's clearly, I think, the best defender in the NFL. but he wasn't serving a purpose here. And I know you said, yeah, he's probably responsible from maybe he took the Browns from a 1-2 win team to a 5-6 win team. But it's not, I said it earlier, it's not. This isn't LeBron from 2015 to 2018, where it's you stamp your ticket to the finals and you start making plans to go to the NBA finals. And you're like, well, which game do I want to go to? Depends on if we have the home court event, whatever. It wasn't like that when he was here. They never built around him to make the team, that impactful with what he did. So I don't know. I like the fact that we're getting a little more versatile player. I think he plays a different position. He's going to be asked to do different things. I don't think all that pressure at all is on him. And I want to get your point, and then I want to make the rest of my point. I want to hear what you think, and then I want to make before we go on, I want to make the rest of my point when you're done, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fine. Yeah, absolutely. My point is this. You remember when let me take it back to a different sport here in Cleveland for a moment. We're going to go way back Monday here for a moment with Eli Moon. Exactly. Yes. Let's go way back Monday. You remember when the Cavaliers had a disgruntled Kyrie Irving now because he found out he was in trade rumors, and they moved on from Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was traded to the Boston Celtics. He was the main piece coming back. Obviously, you got Jake Crowder back and some other pieces. Ante Zizic, you got him in the trade as well, and a first rounder that I believe turned into Colin Sexton. But the big piece was Isaiah Thomas, and the fact that they got Isaiah Thomas, and that was the big haul, pretty much, considering everything you had else from Boston coming your way. All the eggs were put into how is Isaiah Thomas going to play. Now, granted, Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, both point guards. However, that was the main haul. The other players, but Jay Crowder, we knew who he was. We knew he was a guy who may be a little rough and tough, a 3-and-D guy at best. But I really didn't feel like it was going to work out, to be quite honest. That's a different discussion for a different day. But just because of them literally going to war with Boston the year before, and Jay Crowder and J.R. Smith ready to throw hands with each other. So I didn't think any of that was going to work. So you had to put your eggs into the Isaiah Thomas bucket or basket or whatever. And everybody was critical. And obviously Isaiah Thomas didn't play anywhere near where he was before the hip injury. You put all that into effect. But everybody put that as, well, he's not Kyrie. Well, he's got to play like he's got to bring the same level. Cleveland fans, and I am a Cleveland fan at heart. I love the Cleveland Browns, the Cavaliers, the Guards. I love them all. But we are crazy in a way. Let's be real. Cleveland fans are crazy. Yeah. So with that being considered, that history, at least in basketball, with Isaiah Thomas being the main piece, and you could say, well, it's about the whole trade. They got a first rounder out of it, and this and this. I get that. But I'm telling you, and somebody can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I would say 75 to 80% of Cleveland right now is feeling like this trade works, and we'll forget about it. Won't forget, but feel a little better about it. If Jared Verse plays like a Pro Bowler, like he has been, and he continues to electrify defenses. But if he falls flat on his face, or he just is lackluster, and we've just seen the best 2 years of his career, and obviously I hope that's not the case. This is going to be one of the worst trades in NFL history, right behind the Deshaun Watson trade. It's terrible, and that's where I'm at. That's why I know we shouldn't compare Jared Verse a linebacker. Myles Garrett's a defensive end. Yes, Jared Verse lines up a little bit, two edge rush, pass rush, but not all the time. However, this is the chip. This is the chip that is proven. A guy that on the open market, they're talking about would have cost 2 firsts. So you're telling me the Browns elected to not acquire multiple draft picks and take their chance after we've praised on this network Andrew Berry in the last couple of drafts, at least on paper, that have looked great and one that played well last year. Yep. We elected to go with Jared Verse, who I like. I'm not saying I don't. Let me be clear. This is just me talking about the ifs, ands, if something were to work this way and it doesn't work out. I think he's good, but you have to be cautious if you're the Browns. You just put a big magnifying glass on Jared Verse. Yeah. He is going to be magnified. People are going to be looking for his number on defense, trying to see what he's doing, following his box score. They're going to check that out because he is the chip. He is the guy being sold that he would cost 2 first-rounders. So I want to see him play like he's cost 2 first-rounders. I don't want to see just he played a little impactful because it's going to be the same discussions we were having before. Yes, I understand, in basketball, we won a championship with Kyrie and LeBron, and I get that. But you remember those teams. Oh, yeah. They needed Kyrie just as much as they needed LeBron. Yes, the years with Kyrie, they were pretty bad, the Cavaliers. But they needed Kyrie to be there. It's kind of the same thing with Myles Garrett in a way. Myles Garrett is kind of like the Kyrie Irving to whoever the quarterback could be as the LeBron James. Now, for a moment, we had it.
Yeah.
We had it with Baker Mayfield. They got there. And the Kyrie LeBron-esque kind of vibe for a moment was there. And now they've played quarterback limbo since. It would be like if the Cavaliers, instead of moving on from Kyrie, kept Kyrie and kept shipping LeBron out for different random pieces. So that's my take, Chad, on why Jared Verse is going to be magnified. And this trade is measured whether he plays well or he doesn't play well. Because, quite honestly, I understand the track record. I'm giving him a little bit of credit for the last year's draft, and on paper, not bad. I still don't trust Andrew Berry. This is a hot seat still. This is a hot seat.
Nope, and I agree. Okay, on the not trusting Andrew Berry, I agree with you. And I think it's about managing expectations for Jared Verse. I don't think anyone can rightfully, although you said it, I mean, Cleveland fans can be a little wild sometimes. We'll check back in with Roger in the comments as well.
Yes.
While we're talking. But see, I think you have to manage your expectations for Jared Verse. I think you have to let him be what he is, right? He's not going to come in and be Myles Garrett. I know people are going to come in and they're going to want to see that production. But it's not realistic to expect that, right? He's going to contribute in different ways. He's going to give you a lot of different energy, like I said, sideline to sideline. He's going to make plays all over the field. And I think some people might see that and get a little bit excited because we haven't seen that, from, like you said, since JOK. He showed all the potential. And then, of course, obviously a devastating neck injury. Not his fault. I mean, it makes me sad to even really talk about it. It's terrible what happened to JOK. And, I don't know that. I mean, it looks like he won't play again. Mm-hmm. But here is my point. Here's the rest of my point. When I said I wanted to get the rest of my point, I think that first-round pick that came back from the Rams, Eli, is going to end up being more scrutinized than Jared Verse is. And here's why. Because you basically have two choices of what to do with that first-round pick. You can't use it as a standalone first-round pick and go take the 28th or 29th pick in the draft and go, hey, look what we got back from Myles Garrett. It's a safety. And he's going to come in, and we hope he's going to start day one because he's the first-round pick, and he's going to really contribute on the defense or whatever, right? You can't go get a slot receiver who, well, he's going to return kicks and make an impact there on the field. You can't do that. You have to package it together, and you have to go get a veteran quarterback that's going to come here and change this culture and change this offense and move the needle, as people say, right? Or you have to package that up, and you have to get up in the draft, and you have to go draft one of the 4 or 5 quarterbacks that we think are going to make an impact coming out of the draft next year. And you cannot miss, Eli. Jared Verse is going to be Jared Verse. He's going to play his game. He's going to continue to contribute. He's going to make plays on the defensive side of the ball. He's never going to be Myles Garrett. We know that right now. But what we don't know, and Cleveland fans love the idea of the prospect, right? The future. We always want to stack draft picks, get this, get that, trade it for prospects, whatever. As a sports fan, I think you like the idea of the unknown, building something, right? That development. And I think that's why that pick that came over from the Rams is going to be far more scrutinized than Jared Verse ever, well, maybe not will be, but should be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I think I agree that the pick's important, but I think it's truly going to come down to Verse because he's 25. He's going to need a new contract here soon. He was looking for a new contract. The Browns are going to have to put more money on the books, for another defensive end. I personally, and again, I like Jared Verse. I know Double A was messing with me earlier trying to say I don't like Jared Verse. I think he's a talented player. I liked him in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
If you're going into a full rebuild, why not just rebuild? Why not just get as many firsts as you can from this team? Say, you know what? Give us the draft capital. Put the money in the bag.
I think the feeling is that they're close. They just can't quite get the offense to click, right? Like
but they're not.
Top 5 defense, but they had a top 5 defense.
But they're not going to now with I'm just wanted to be very clear. I disagree with we don't disagree very often, but I disagree with you on the take of top 15 off a defense still. Okay. I'll tell you this. I think this Browns defense is going to be bottom third of the league next year.
Bottom third. But okay.
Bottom third.
One player. Okay.
Bottom third.
Okay.
He was the glue that kept a lot of those guys on defense level-headed. I truly believe.
What if he wasn't?
Then I guess we'll find out, and I'll eat my words.
We'll see for sure. Yeah,
I'll eat my words, right? But I think the guy who's been a defensive player of the year, a multi-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, everything. I think he's a guy who said when all this change is going on, one thing we can control is how we play on defense.
Yeah.
And
then why don't we look at him the same way that we look at Donovan Mitchell? Donovan Mitchell's a really good player for the Cavs, but he doesn't move the needle. He doesn't get anyone. He doesn't inspire anyone. He doesn't command the respect that LeBron did when he was here. He doesn't. he just doesn't get everybody moving in the same direction without fail. And I feel like at times the defense, they were on the field a lot, but Double A brought it up earlier. I mean, they when they needed a stop, the defense would let them down more often than not, and that's just why
I think that attributes to the offense. I mean, you can't have an offense on the field.
There's a direct correlation.
15% on the game. I mean, I understand they had some big time collapses, and we tore them up about it. I mean, because you're still a professional defense.
Yeah.
But I truly think this defense is going to take a step back. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. I just don't think I am. You have a new defensive coordinator coming in. Now you don't have, Jared Verse is your blue chip. Again, I keep stressing it all day. Keep an eye on what Denzel Ward has to say. We haven't heard nothing from Denzel Ward yet. Is he going to be happy? Is he going to want to go do another rebuild? He's around the same age as Myles Garrett.
Is he still a quarterback one to you, though? I mean, maybe like 2 more seasons, and that might be it.
But if that's the case, then move on from him too. Because if you feel like Myles Garrett 30 and he doesn't fit in your window, then why is Denzel Ward still playing cornerback? Again, I'm not advocating, and I actually will be heartbroken. But like that's the conversations they should be having then. If you're just looking to acquire, maybe, because if you're looking to acquire draft picks and all that, I can only think of one other guy besides the guy you just acquired in Verse that makes sense to go get some capital out of, and that would be Denzel Ward, Nordonia High School's own. I mean, a guy that literally Ohio State Buckeye. I mean, a guy that
we'd rather have him here, but it makes sense to move him. Yeah,
a guy that breathes Ohio, Chad. But at this point, you got to wonder what Denzel Ward. I truly am curious. That is a guy I'm curious to hear what he has to say next, whether it's in a press conference or they catch him, after one of these mini camp days or whatever. I'm curious to hear what Denzel Ward has to say.
But he's always very guarded. He's not going to tell you how he feels. He's not going to say it out loud.
He was outspoken about Jim Schwartz.
Well,
he was outspoken about Jim Schwartz and said he thinks Jim would.
That was as close as he's come to.
But maybe that's a turning of the page, and maybe he's gonna start voicing his opinion. You got to think he's been here since 2018. He's been here 8 years. And he doesn't have much to show about it except for a playoff win and almost. If we wouldn't have had the helmet-to-helmet with Hollywood Higgins, maybe we're talking a different story. But that's a lot of what-ifs. And the reality is we're sitting here now. We moved on from one of the last main pieces of the first rebuild of the 2010. I don't even know. Whatever. That rebuild that everybody felt it was going to push us into the next 15, 20 years, well, that's gone. Officially. There's a few scragglers hanging around, and the last one, it seems to be Denzel Ward. So if you move on, I mean, the offensive line's pretty much retiring or moving on. Wyatt Teller's out of town. Joel Bitonio. Has anybody heard from Joel Bitonio? Has anyone heard from Joel Bitonio?
Not to my knowledge.
So there's a lot of unknowns. So I guess if you're the Browns and if you're tearing it down, if it is truly quarterback season, which way to get your team, way to get your fans excited for a schedule, a season right before the season starts. You trade Myles Garrett. You tell us that Deshaun Watson is the front runner to start at quarterback. And we don't even know who's going to catch the ball around him. We don't even know who's going to line up on the offensive. We have so many questions, and now we've added another one. Can Jared Verse, can he at least play to an all-pro level? I'm not asking you to be Myles Garrett. I think that'd be foolish. But can you play like an all-pro? Because if you can't, it's going to get hot in here, unfortunately, in Cleveland really quickly for him because he's going – fair or not fair? I don't think it's necessarily fair, but fair or not fair, he's going to be the one feeling the heat from Cleveland fans about why he's not performing. That's just
I just feel like if he comes in and plays his game and does JOK type things, he's going to be beloved here. And I don't think anyone's going to really truly expect him to replace Myles Garrett. And I think the people that do expect him to come in and replace that type of production are that's delusional. That's just that can't happen. So I think again you have to manage your expectations when it comes to him. And I think if you do and really truly watch what he does and watch his contributions on the field, as long as he played the way he did in LA, I think he's going to be pretty exciting to watch play here.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Again, I'm excited for Jared Verse.
Yeah.
Hate the haul back for the.
I get it. It doesn't feel like enough. I get it.
Hate it. I hate it. Now Rogers over there loving what the Rams did here. We're gonna get back to Roger here before we go to break. He said about Myles Garrett, he's a beast and the best in his position, makes us the favorite for Super Bowl.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Roger. Well, hey, we'll keep an eye on that.
Close. I don't disagree with that. They were close last year.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. One of the final two teams in the NFC. We'll keep an eye on it. He definitely makes you a little bit better. I'll tell you that. A lot better. And you take that from the Browns fans. We just argued about how he took us from 1 win to 5 wins at one point. I think
he makes a great team even better, though. And the Rams are a pretty great team, honestly. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, if it's a 4-win differential for the Rams, that's what, 11 wins to 14. I mean, so, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. All right, Chad and I are going to take a quick pause for the calls. You go grab some caffeine, some dinner, whatever you need. And when we come back, we're going to put a bow on the Myles Garrett stuff. We're going to get our final thoughts out for the day on Myles Garrett. We're just going to... Now, I say that. I'm producing Midnight Run at midnight, so Double A may call me on the screen. I may have to share some more. But this possibly is my final thoughts on Myles Garrett for the day. Chad
These
will
are
have
your
his...
penultimate final thoughts. Yes.
Yes. Chad will have some final thoughts on Myles Garrett. Here, a reaction the day of. If you're just now tuning in, multiple reports. Adam Schefter, I believe, had it first. Myles Garrett traded to the Rams. He is sent over to Los Angeles. Coming back is Defensive Rookie of the Year from 2024, Jared Verse, a 2027 first rounder, a 2028 second rounder, and a 2029 third rounder. So we'll get some final thoughts on that. We'll have some final thoughts on the day because, we also did things outside. Well, kind of. But we'll talk about some final thoughts, yep. Chad and I, and we'll get out here. All right, so that's Chad Bryan to my right. You're right. Everybody's right. We're all in the saddle, on the saddle. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Hey, before we go to break, don't forget, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net on all the socials, and go check out the great website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. All right, that's going to do it for Chad and I for this segment. We're back with you for a final 15 or so right after this.
Monster Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at monstermomentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. monstermomentsphotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's Fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan, he gave me a little bit of a hard time because I had him over to the left. So I had to switch him over, make things right, over to my right. I'm Eli Moon. We're back in the saddle, on the saddle, in the saddle, on the saddle, here for the final few moments of Inside Edge Primetime here with you. The final 10 or so. We're going to put a bow on this Myles Garrett stuff. Final thoughts and get out of here. Again, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford here with you at midnight. He will be with you, rocking and rolling on Hinge. He'll have his thoughts more on Myles Garrett, and he'll have some other things I'm sure to talk about as well. Make sure you like to follow, subscribe at Inside Edge Net on all of the socials. That's Inside Edge Net at Twitch, Twitter, or X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the great stuff. Smash that notification bell. If you're first time here, thank you so much, and thanks for putting up with a little bit of the hecticness behind the, I don't know if that's a word, the hecticness of the behind the scenes. So, yes. Oh, that's a good word. All right.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it's, man, who's telling us? With that being said, thank you so much. Make sure you smash that notification bell. First time here, go ahead and give us a follow, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. We appreciate you for choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. And of course, check out the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. You're going to go ahead and read about your favorite personalities like Chad and I. Go to the partners page because we couldn't do without them. W Energy, Moss or Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Couldn't do without them and couldn't do without you at home. So thank you so much. Make sure you go over to the shop, get a great windbreaker, a hat, a polo, a shirt, all of the great stuff, a mug, all the great stuff. InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go. All right, Chad, let's put a bow on this thing.
All right.
So, all right, that's it. All right, see you guys later.
Okay,
we're not smooth yet in the new system, so that would have probably been a little choppy. But no. Final thoughts, first off, on Myles Garrett, and then we'll pivot to some final thoughts of just the day in general, because it's been a day.
All right. Here's the first thing. Let Jared Verse be Jared Verse. I don't. You can't come in and hit me with not hit me, but you can't hit him with the social media comments like, oh, this bum thinks he's going to come in and replace it. It's not his fault, right? Like he's not the one that caused this, right? He's the guy we're getting. So make sure, listen, man, he's orange and brown from day one, right? Like he's the part of the dog pound route, right? Like let's make him feel welcome. But let him be him, right? Don't expect him to come in and give you Myles Garrett type production. You're going to be disappointed. Like look at him as again. I think the maybe the best comparison is that he's coming in as he's replacing what JOK would have and could have and maybe should have been for the Browns through no fault of his own. The injury, the neck injury was terrible. I would side on. I guess I would err on the side of caution every time if I were him. If I had a choice to make. Your health is infinitely more important. I don't want to see JOK come back and play a half a season and spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. I'd rather him just, it's hard to say as an ex-athlete. It's tough to let your sport go, but I would rather see him just kind of maybe give up football and focus on being healthy, happy, able to walk around, able to, function normally and do those things or whatever. I think that's more important. But let Jared Verse be Jared Verse and keep the heat where the heat needs to be. It's on Andrew Berea. It should be on Andrew Berea and exactly whatever he does with that first round pick, wherever it is that comes back from the Rams. And like I said, it's going to be, Matt Wentz would appreciate it if I said in the high 20s, not the late 20s, the mid to high 20s, right? Even possibly the low 30s. We're almost getting to freezing. But yeah, if they go out,
what about the Omega pattern?
The Omega block, yeah, that's
yes.
We are reaping the benefits of that. By the way, I'm watching flooding and everything else going on all around the country, and I'm finally able to mow my lawn. My yard is dry. The weather is beautiful. Wow. There's no humidity. So thanks to the Omega block pattern. But yeah, that was a fun thing to learn about. We were gonna do the whether or not section. I forgot to have him ask me my weather question. Maybe I skated by. Maybe I did it on purpose a little bit because I would have messed that up. But let Jared Verse be Jared Verse and put the onus back on Andrew Berea. That's where it belongs. It's the GM, right? He's the one who orchestrated this deal. It wasn't Jared Verse's fault. He didn't, come to the press and say, "Hi, I need to go to Cleveland and you need to ship Myles Garrett." And somebody said, "Okay, fine, if you insist." Right? He didn't do this. Don't put the heat on him. Let this man play football. Put it on Andrew Berea and expect greatness, right? In next year's first round or whatever it is, they're going to have to do something with that pick that's creative, and they've got a little under a year to figure it out. So the clock's on Andrew Berry now, not on Jared Verse. It's on Andrew Berry.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'll save enough detail for this because I already kind of expanded upon it earlier. But I'll say this: if you want to win a lot of football games this year, Cleveland Browns fans, get ready to be in a lot of shootouts. You're going to need whoever's at quarterback to score. That's just the reality. Chad and I differed a little bit. It's very rare we differ as heavily as we do now, but I do think this Browns defense is going to take a significant step back for a lot of factors. New defensive coordinator, new, obviously, edge rushers. You're going to have to find at least find 2 or 3 guys that can somewhat bring some of the production. Myles Garrett, Alex Wright, more pressure now on you with that new contract you just signed last season. So I think the Browns offense should be ready to get into shootouts. Whoever it is, Sean Watson, Shador Sanders, I would hope, but we'll see. I mean, that's the next big topic. Now that Myles Garrett, we're not talking about him not being at OTAs and all this other stuff. Now we get to talk about a quarterback battle. So now that that's out of the way, my final thought on Myles Garrett, and then we'll pivot to just some final thoughts maybe of other stuff that happened throughout the day. But because this took over the day. But Myles Garrett, thank you for a fun run for almost a decade. Thank you for the playoff win that you contributed to. Thank you for breaking the single season sack record here and winning Defensive Player of the Year and giving your all to Cleveland, a city that people said you didn't want to be in to begin with, and you adopted it as home. You were in the community, showing a lot of love. So thank you. I wish you the best in the NFC. I mean, if the Browns play in the Super Bowl, but if we do, then I can't root for you. But if it's Rams and whoever, I'll be pulling for you because I like to see the guys that have busted their ass and here in Cleveland especially win one. I wanted Joe Thomas win one when they started talking at the end of his career, trade him to Denver. I was like, dude, it would hurt my soul. He belongs as a Cleveland Brown for the rest of his career. But, it's one thing that leaves Joe Thomas's resume a little empty. It's not empty, but if you want to say there's one empty mark, it's that he doesn't have that Super Bowl championship. So I hope Myles Garrett can get that. If it is in Los Angeles, hey man, we're at least I'm pulling for you. I can't speak for all of Cleveland because I'm sure there are a lot of mixed reactions, but I'm pulling for you, and that's how I feel. So that's Myles Garrett putting the bow on it.
Yeah, I think if we all looked at it from, if you could take yourself out of the, I guess the role of a Browns fan and look at it objectively, I think you would probably want for yourself what Myles Garrett wanted for himself. And I think sometimes we look at it like, well, you should be loyal to us. I don't know, man. I mean, it's his career, right? He gets one shot at it. In the NFL, you get, if you're lucky, 8 to 10 years, as a really highly productive player. To really be in your prime if you're very, very, very lucky. And it's okay to want to win. And the Browns don't seem to be headed that way. So
Sure don't, pal. I think it's going to be a long season, I think. But we'll have a lot to break down. I know you guys will have that on a legal formation, some talk about, football throughout the year, obviously. TK and yourself, you guys did a great job. 7 to 8 here on the Inside Edge Network earlier today. If you missed it, it's on all the socials. Go check it out. Chad and TK Dandridge doing a great job. Go check that out. All right, Chad, we got a minute left. Keurig's not running because we're actually doing pretty good on time today. But we don't have to worry about running out of here or nothing, which is good. Good, first day in the new stew, so good. Do you have any final thoughts on the day? Anything that maybe wasn't Myles Garrett related?
Oh, man, it's almost hard to it's like this pre-Myles Garrett trade, post-Myles Garrett trade Cleveland, right? What was even happening before Myles Garrett got traded? I don't remember. Listen, the Guardians are still in first place. I mean, you've got that. I know that the Cavs, it feels like they laid down in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks were really good. Listen, when the Knicks scored 144 points to close out the Sixers in that game, I was like, man, we're in trouble. It was like we're in danger, right? I knew.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming. I didn't think it was going to be. I thought they'd win one game, but I knew the Knicks were going to be a whole handful. I just felt like the Cavs laid down. But listen, the Guardians aren't going to lay down. They may get to the playoffs and not play well. They may not have the depth on their roster to compete with a team like the Yankees or the Rays or the whoever. The Rays have a similar payroll. That's ridiculous. But whatever. But just remember that the Guardians are never going to lay down. Never, ever, ever under Stephen Vogt are the Guardians going to lay down. So you've got that. There are all kinds of it's going to be a fun summer in Cleveland. They're going to be in first place pretty much wire to wire in that division now. I don't see anyone really challenging them. I know the White Sox are still kind of hanging around. We'll see you in August. Just take the summer, enjoy some baseball. Don't worry about the Browns right now. The Browns aren't even worried about the Browns. Just don't stress about it, right? Just enjoy some Guardians baseball. Get yourself through the summer, and we can start to worry about the Browns a little more come August when, they embark on their 4-13 tour. That'll be fine.
I could not have said it better myself, pal. I think what I'll say is just, again, a big thank you to everybody out there that's been tuning in all day long. We've had pretty much wall-to-wall coverage, starting with the morning show with Omar Clausel Jr. that debuted today from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can check that every morning, week morning. I'm going to start saying that, but it's a strong morning. So every morning, 9 to 11 a.m. here on the Inside Edge Network with Omar. And then, of course, you have Unfiltered Edge regularly scheduled time. It was out on regular schedule, but kept the update on the breaking news. Kyle did that, so kind of not. All right, Unfiltered back at 5 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. Here weekdays with Kyle Cornell. And then, of course, Primetime, Inside Edge Primetime, Chad and I, 10 to 11 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network. And that leaves Double Anthony out for the program director, our bro, going midnight to 1 weeknight. So we have 4 daily shows here now for you. We have a ton of weekly programming as well. Jersey Chasers with Autumn Christie later on this week on Wednesday, 7:30. We have conversations with Eli Moon. That's me. We will have a sit-down tomorrow at 7:30. Main event, of course, is kicked off the week with Rob Rizicki, Double Anthony Alford, and myself. We just have a ton of weekly programming. You have Voice of the Land Thursdays at 6 p.m. You have a ton of great programming. Illegal Formations back Mondays at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock with TK Dandridge and Chad Bryan. Yeah. You have a ton of programming. Mic Check Take 2 on Fridays at 7 o'clock. So, just a real talk with Papa Moon, my pops. Saturday at 5 p.m. He has great episodes of mental health conversations. So we reach everything. We're Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. We're trying to bring you, and we believe we're bringing you something different. So thanks. If this has been your first time, your 10th time, your 100th time, thank you so much for rocking with us. Yep. We appreciate it. We love bringing you this breaking news coverage. It made our shows a little easier, a little tough at the same time. Having to stay by to Myles and break this down, but yeah. It was a lot of fun being with all of you, whether you're a Browns fan, a Rams fan, a Vikings fan. Why would a Vikings fan care about why we trade? Well, it's okay. We appreciate you too. Like, follow, subscribe, Inside EdgeNet on all the socials. What you're going to do to stay locked in with Chad and I and everybody else, everything else I just mentioned, from myself, from W. Anthony Alford, the program director, from Peter Telep, the owner of the Inside Edge Network. We appreciate you. That could be the biggest, hey, we rock with you. Just hit that follow. It takes 2 seconds and now you're with us for life. And then, of course, the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Read about your favorite personalities like Chad and I and everybody on the team, on the network. Go check out our partners, which is W Energy, Mosser Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Couldn't do it without them. Couldn't do it without you. Go check out that shop, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Get a windbreaker, a mug, a shirt, a polo, a hat, all that great stuff. Go rep Cleveland's digital leader. And then your friend's going to ask, what do you got? And you'll be like, dude, you don't have your Inside Edge Network gear? And you'll be like, dude, come on, man. And then you'll get them some, and they'll be rocking, and pretty soon the whole city of Cleveland will be rocking it. So that is the goal. And the goal for tonight is to land this plane successfully. Sometimes Chad and I just kind of are on the tarmac, and we're just messing around, and it gets a little rough. So we're going to land this
in the airport.
Yes, we're going to land this plane successfully. That's going to do it for one and only Chad Bryan. Hey, I'll tell you this, actually, on air. I haven't told you this ever before. So my dad, when we were growing up, I went to a Guardians game. I'll leave you with this. We went to a Guardians game. They were still the Indians at the time. And it was a Tampa Bay Rays game. We were playing the Tampa Bay Rays. And Ben Joyce came to the plate. And my dad goes, see that up there? And I go, what's that? He goes, and Papa Moon goes, never trust a guy with 2 first names. Now, here I am, years later, half a year in, with a guy with 2 first names. And I'll tell you, probably one of the best decisions I've made in my life. Chad is a great human being. I consider him a bro at this point. And he puts up with a lot of my nonsense on and off screen. So I appreciate him greatly. I appreciate all of you. And that's going to do it, man. We're going to land this plane before we get get in trouble with Double A. For Chad Bryan, to my right, your right, everybody's right. I'm Eli Moon. We're going to disappear. And that's going to do it for Inside Edge Primetime. We'll see you tomorrow.